Sometime around mid-December 2020, a friend had an altercation with a legend. This is a recap of that event. Before you tell me that this is old news, I would like to remind you that the videos you are watching and will be watching until summer will include everything I have ever taken a screenshot of. That means that sometimes you're going to watch content that was created when a situation happened, and I might add some context that time has given a specific situation. Welcome, bienvenidos. This is Roxana from MetamorphosisRox, and today we're going to be talking about a situation that happened recently. One of the sad parts of getting old is that you watch as many of your idols turn to dust. Let me count the ways. Mel Gibson, John Wayne, Walt Disney, Jeff Bezos, Kevin Spacey. This one really broke me. Jimmy Stewart. So did this one. Roseanne Barr, Clint Eastwood, Kevin Sorbo, Jim Caviezel, and the list goes on, and then we get to one William Shatner. My brothers did not have many interests in common, and Star Trek was the one thing I knew they both loved. They watched the original show as kids and marveled at the idea of traveling through space. Sometimes I like to think the reason why one of them became an engineer, other than imitating his dad, was that he wanted to be like the people in Star Trek. I don't know if that is true, but I like to think so. Then I married a man who is a huge fan of the series and its offshoots. And that means that William Shatner was huge in this house. Now me, I liked him as T.J. Hooker. And of course, I loved him in Miss Congeniality. So I was pretty excited to see that he ran his own Twitter account. Yes, there is a difference between a celebrity running their account and their PR team writing it for them. For better or for worse, I prefer it when the actual celebrity runs it. Examples? Well, we have Donald Trump when he had a Twitter account. Vincent D'Onofrio, Cher, you get the picture. So why did I bring up William Shatner? Because he decided to come after my friend and friend of the channel, Josephine. Now at the time, Josephine had just discovered, through medical diagnosis, that she was in the spectrum for autism. She has experience in his field because she is the mother of autistic children. She also works in a facility where they take care of adults with different ailments, including autism. She might not be a doctor, but you don't need to be a doctor to be experienced in an area. Joe took issue with one of Shatner's tweets and his support of an organization called Autism Speaks. Autism Speaks has been largely criticized for their approach to autism as something that we need to eliminate at all costs, furthering the stigma against people living with autism, and their spending of fundraising dollars. For a long time, they refused to have any person living with autism become part of their board, which made it strange to have an organization advocating for the rights of people they did not include in their organization. Many people seem to favor a different organization called Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, or ASAN. This organization, as the name implies, firmly believes that people with autism should be in charge of changes and advocating for themselves. They are harsh critics of Autism Speaks, and so, needless to say, people who are familiar with both organizations have strong opinions. I took a different route because I don't have deep knowledge on this topic. I went to Charity Navigator. They create a system to determine the health of an organization following different criteria, which includes how much of the money in the organizations goes to cover programs versus salaries, who are the members of their board, and other factors which determine if your donation will go to the right place. Now, ASAN had 100 score, and Autism Speaks is in the 80s, as you can see on the screen. Now, mind you, anything over 75% is a good charity to invest in, but I wanted to include the numbers for income earnings as well as the salary for some of the employees, since Shatner felt the need to make a big deal about the income of the ASAN director. After seeing several articles about both charities, it is clear that ASAN takes the input of the people with autism more seriously than Autism Speaks. And where Autism Speaks wants to eradicate autism, ASAN sees the beauty on all people and has a more inclusive mission for the people they represent. However, the reason I wanted to give you some info on both organizations is because I can't even speak. Shatner is very pro Autism Speaks and very fond of throwing dirt at ASAN. It didn't end there. He also decided to chastise some of his followers who told him they were autistic, make fun of them, and we all know that when a celebrity quote tweets someone in a negative manner, their fans feel the need to attack those people, becoming ableist in the process. I'm not going to read the screenshots, they're really self-explanatory. They are not separated by category. I actually included them in the order they happened because I wanted you to see how he was chastising those individuals while at the same time proclaiming to be the victim instead of just admitting that he had not behaved in the best way possible. One of his biggest victims that day happened to be Joe, who tried to reach out to him as a person who had recently been diagnosed with autism, as a mother of autistic people, and as somebody who takes care of people with autism on a daily basis. And he dismissed her, as he dismissed pretty much everybody else that wanted to try to get him to see their side of the story. And of course, eventually he got into this whole rant about how these people don't think that I've heard all these things before and whatnot. Well, clearly you've heard them, you just haven't paid attention to them, because it took me all 5 minutes to find out which charity was more into the actual autism. Unless the reason why you don't like ASAN is because you think that autism is something that needs to be stamped out. Maybe that's why you're the way you are. Anyway, this is the thing. They wanted to be heard and he dismissed them. Much as Autism Speaks has been accused of dismissing autistic voices. Guess this is why he likes them so much. There are many other reasons why I found this exchange disappointing. I really like Shatner, even when he was not the nicest to George Takei. I figured that was just personal beef that had become public fodder. Now, I'm not so sure. And yes, I was on George Takei's side on that situation. I just don't necessarily think it was my place to choose between the two. Now, after watching him do this several times, and doing it to my friend, I think it's safe to say he fits that list. I don't know. Maybe you guys see something I didn't see. But to be honest with you, I have seen several exchanges after that, and he has been just as, what's the word I'm looking for? In Spanish, we have a word called prepotente, and it means that you think you're better than anybody else. I don't know if that's it. I don't know if it's just that he's grumpy. I don't know if he really thinks that he's doing something good. And you know, that's always a possibility, that he thinks he's doing something good for the community, but he's not listening to the voices that matter. And that's a shame. Anyway, I hope you didn't mind the little concert of water falling on my window. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.